Welcome back. Today I want to tell you a story about cravings. Not the kind you might expect, because we're not going to talk about cravings for food. Rather, cravings for relief, for certainty, for answers. Because I think that might be the story that might be hidden underneath the fairy tale of Snow White. Welcome to Incandescent Voltage Luminous Being. My name is Tiffany, and I have been a functional medicine board certified health coach since 2017. Everything in this channel is for educational and reflective purposes only. This is not medical advice. You are the keeper of your own current, so please seek medical or mental health support whenever needed. Most of us were taught that Snow White almost died because she was naive. She trusted the wrong person. She accepted an apple from a stranger. End of story. But as I've gotten older, I don't think that's what happened at all. I think Snow White was exhausted, isolated, vulnerable, and I think she wanted relief. Because when you're hurting, when you're frightened, when you're uncertain about what comes next, something inside of you starts looking for an answer. Anything that promises to make the discomfort stop. And that's exactly what the apple represented. It wasn't about nourishment. It was relief. The apple looked beautiful. The evil witch disguised as a kind peasant appeared safe. The solution was right there in her hand. No more uncertainty, no more struggle, just take a bite. And isn't that exactly how temptation often appears in our own lives? Not something that is obviously dangerous, but as something that appears like salvation, the perfect diet, the miracle supplement, the breakthrough medication, the revolutionary protocol, the influencer who swears they have the answer, the coach who guarantees the results. The apple is never just an apple. The apple is certainty. And certainty becomes incredibly attractive when we're suffering. One of the most profound realizations I've had as a health coach is that desperation changes decision making. When people are healthy and regulated, they ask questions. When people are suffering, they often just want the pain to stop. And honestly, I understand it. I've lived it. I've spent years navigating Crohn's disease, celiac disease, chronic stress, grief, trauma, perimenopause, and a spine condition that doctors told me should have put me in a wheelchair many, many years ago. I have sat in doctors' offices looking for answers. I've spent money on treatments that didn't work. I've tried things that helped and things that did not. And what I've learned is that healing is rarely as simple as taking a bite of the apple. One of my favorite books is How Healing Works by Dr. Wayne Jonas. And in it, he talks about how healing isn't usually about finding one magical intervention that fixes everything. Healing is about understanding the whole person, their biology, their environment, their relationships, their stress, their stories, their beliefs, and their unique circumstances. Because human beings are not machines. And what works beautifully for one person is the poisoned apple for another. I've watched people take the same medication and have completely different outcomes. For one person, it was life-changing. And for another, it created a whole new set of problems that they will be living with for the rest of their lives. the exact same treatment, the exact same prescription, two completely different experiences. Because medicine isn't happening in a vacuum. It's happening inside a unique human being. And that's something our culture really does not like to acknowledge. You don't hear about this hardly ever. We love certainty and simple answers. We love miracle stories and before and after transformations, especially the photos, because they're real. We want someone to point at the apple and say, look, here's the answer. But real life is very rarely that simple. This is something that I talked about in my Rumpelstiltskin video, and I'll connect that. I'll have that link in the description below so you can rewatch that or watch it for the first time if you haven't seen it. Every magic comes with a price. Every intervention has trade-offs. Every treatment carries risks. Every medication has potential side effects. Every surgery has possible complications. Even natural therapies can cause harm when used improperly. And the question isn't, is it good? The question is this good for me? That's a very different question. And this is where I think the yin-yang becomes incredibly relevant. In traditional Chinese medicine, health is not about eliminating one side and embracing another. Health is balance, harmony, and discernment. When yang becomes excessive, we become urgent, reactive, impatient, and desperate. We want answers immediately. We want relief right now. We want certainty at this very moment. The louder the fear becomes, the louder the demand for a solution. But yin brings something different. Yin slows us down and we can go into observation and we can listen. And yin allows us to receive information and wisdom to emerge. The poisoned apple often appears when yang energy overwhelms yin. When urgency becomes louder than discernment, when fear becomes louder than wisdom, when the need for relief becomes stronger than our willingness to ask questions. And this is why I believe advocating for your health is one of the most important skills we can develop, and the health of our children as well. Please do not mother's intuition is not disingenuous. It's a very real thing. Please advocate for your health and the health of your children. Getting a second opinion is not being difficult. Asking questions is not being difficult. Reading the fine print is not only not difficult, but absolutely necessary. And if someone's trying to give you something and they don't have fine print for you to read, I would seriously question that if I were you. Taking the time to think is definitely not being difficult. These are acts of sovereignty. You are allowed to ask, what are the risks? What are the alternatives? What happens if I do nothing? What are the potential side effects? Who is not a good candidate for this? What would you tell your daughter if she was sitting here right now? You can also ask about lifestyle interventions, holistic therapies, alternative therapies. You are allowed to ask the questions. Asking those questions, that is not a sign of distrust. They are signs of active participation, because no one, absolutely no one, should care more about your health than you do. No doctor, No influencer, no coach, no pharmaceutical company, no supplement company, no guru, absolutely no one. You are not only allowed, but encouraged on this channel to become an active participant in your own healing. And perhaps that is the lesson that Snow White was always trying to teach us. Not that apples are dangerous, not that medicine is dangerous, and not that strangers are necessarily dangerous, but that desperation makes us vulnerable to certainty. The more frightened we become, the more likely we are to hand our sovereignty to someone else. The antidote, it's not fear. It's not discernment, but rather it is slowing down long enough to start asking better questions. Because the goal isn't to reject every apple that comes your way. Some apples are truly nourishing. Some interventions genuinely save lives. Some treatments create remarkable healing. The goal is to know yourself well enough to recognize which apples are nourishment and which ones are the poisoned apple, and which ones are giving the illusion of healing, but are just not for you. The current can still run through the cracks if you allow it. Your body may know so much more than you're currently giving it credit for. So until next time, breathe deeply, ask good questions, and remember, discernment is not deprivation. Discernment is sovereignty. Before we close, I want to let you know that I will be sharing some reflective questions in the community tab tomorrow. So you can check that out and you can use them for journaling and gentle reflection for yourself. Or if you have an upcoming therapy or counseling appointment and you want a deeper conversation, you are welcome to use those questions for that as well. And then, of course, I want to encourage you, definitely give space for the questions, because sometimes it's in the space that the healing can come. Thank you for choosing to be here with me today, luminous being. Remember, these conversations are not about perfection. They're about learning to listen more honestly to ourselves with curiosity, compassion, and clarity. And if this episode supported you in some way, please like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with someone else who may need to hear these words today. If you'd like to go deeper, I invite you to check out my free 5-day email course located in the link, the description below, where there's a link. And it's meant just to support you on your own health and wellness journey. And until next time, may you continue healing at the speed of safety.